Why hello everyone, my name is Lachlan Harmon, welcome to my channel where today I am going to show you how you can edit some truly spectacular photos on your Mac by getting the most out of the built-in Photos app. In order to get the most out of Photos, there are two extensions you're going to want to download, and the first one is called DxO OpticsPro for Photos. It's an extension that you can buy for just 15 Australian dollars on the Mac App Store, and it gives you access to DxO's critically acclaimed lens correction, smart lighting, clear view dehazing, and their prime noise reduction tools. The second extension is actually a part of a fully fledged image and design editor called Pixelmator, which you can pick up on the Mac App Store for 47 Australian dollars. And what this gives you access to in this instance is the Pixelmator Retouch extension for Photos, which puts advanced repair, clone, light, color, soften, and sharpening tools at your fingertips while editing your photos. Now these extensions are additional to the built-in Photos app, which is completely free in and of itself, and you don't need these programs to create great images in Photos, but they come highly recommended, and realistically for the price you're paying, you get amazing value for money compared to something like the Adobe Creative Cloud Photography subscription, for which you would only get about 4 months worth of for the same price. Now once you've downloaded these extensions and imported some photos from your SD card, it is time to make our first step, which is to pick a photo that you want to edit, hit enter to bring up the edit menu, and then we're going to go straight to the extensions menu and open DxO OpticsPro for our first pass. Once it's open, DxO will automatically start to apply optical corrections for your camera and lens, a certain level of smart lighting for exposure correction, and HQ noise removal, which for a well-lit image at a lower ISO is basically perfect. If you have a noisier, higher ISO image, you'll want to use the prime noise removal tool, which while it takes longer to save, works much better overall at removing even the greatest amount of noise. It's in DxO that you'll want to adjust your white balance using any of their custom presets for things like sunlight, shade, tungsten or fluorescent lighting, or even their temperature and tint sliders for a custom look. It's a far more advanced tool than the Photos built-in options, which is why DxO is our first stop. After that, have a play around with the exposure correcting smart lighting feature and the clear view dehaze tools. There are presets that may work for you, but for the best results, I recommend playing with the sliders to see how they work and what works best for you. There is so much power and potential in all of the Photos app extensions and tools that we will be using to edit our photos, so for the best results, and even if you're a beginner, I strongly recommend having a play around with every single setting to see exactly what it does to your photo and to make a note of what you like and what you don't. At any time within DxO, you can press and hold the M button to see your original photo, giving you an opportunity to sort of have a side-by-side comparison of your original photo and the edits that you've done. And once you've decided that you've gotten the best result possible out of DxO, it's time to hit Save Changes and then move on to the Apple Adjust menu. Apple's Adjust menu is where we're going to be able to play around with light and color at a much more granular level. Using the blue Add button, you can change what tools you want to use and even save a certain tool set as the default. I like to show the RGB histogram, the light, color, and black and white tools in expanded view, and also the white balance tool. As with DxO, these features can seem very advanced, but they get much easier to use over time. While you're starting out, you can use the basic image sliders to play around with different effects, but I would still recommend taking the time to play around with and learn what each slider does to your photos, as well as what you do and don't like the look of. There are many different ways to edit an image using these tools, and far be it from me to tell you exactly which one you should use, but here's an example of how I tend to edit an image like this for Instagram. If I need to, I tend to use the Brilliant slider to get my histogram closer to the center, or at the very least have it sit mostly between the shadows and the highlights, or the left and right of the histogram respectively. This time I don't need to, so now I'm moving on to my exposure, which I tend to increase a touch to accommodate for the average brightness of an Instagram user's screen, because who uses their phones at full brightness in 2017 anyway? I also like to drop my highlights down to avoid blowing out parts of the image and to boost my shadows just a touch so I can try and show off the details in the dark spots, in this instance the couch. I like to leave the brightness alone, but sometimes I do boost it just a little bit to taste, and then depending on what parts of the image lie in the shadows, I sometimes like to increase my contrast and then decrease my black point dramatically, which gives you this nice faded look in the shadow areas that people on Instagram really seem to enjoy. Finally, I play with the color saturation a little based on what I'm seeing in the scene, and that's it. Just one example of the wide range of image edits that you can do using Photos. Back to the main workflow, once you're done with the light and color, I like to straighten and crop the image if I think it needs it, and then it's time to move back to the extension menu and open up Pixelmator Retouch. This final step is rarely needed in my experience, but if there's a pesky bird flying through your scene that just really irks you, or if a model takes particular offense to a stray pimple they weren't aware of previously, you can use this tool, and in particular the highly advanced repair tool to remove any small blemishes from your photos. To use Pixelmator Retouch's repair tool, just click and drag over the part of your image that you want to change, in this instance some stray flecks of dirt on the couch, and they're gone. And once you are done with that, you can save your changes and get out of the edit menu because you are done editing your photograph. So there you have it. That's how you can get the most out of Apple's Photos app with just 2 extensions. And at the end of the day, they come to less than the cost of half a year of Adobe's Creative Cloud solution, and you get to keep the programs for life. If you enjoyed this video or found this information useful, please leave a like down below. And if you want to see more like this, then subscribe to my YouTube channel. There is a link on screen right now, where you can also find a link to my Instagram and some more results of this amazing photo editing software, and 2 related videos if you'd like to see something else. But that's it from me for now. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope to see you around in the future, and I hope you have a wonderful day/evening. But for now, goodbye, Internet.